President ICMAI and Chairman NCMAC-2026, Council members, esteemed speakers, senior members of the profession, fellow cost and management accountants, distinguished delegates, dear students, friends from media, and every one of you. It's indeed a privilege to welcome you all to the 63rd National Cost and Management Accountants Convention 2026, convened by the Institute of Cost Accountants of India in the vibrant and industrious city of Coimbatore. Coimbatore, or Kovai, is a city of contrasts, woven with threads of history, industry, and nature, often called the Manchester of the South for its textile mills, yet blessed by the sweet waters of the Noyal River and guarded by the Western Ghats, celebrating the progress with roots in ancient warrior pride, embodying a spirit where industry meets tradition, from textile looms to Marudamalai's sacred glow, a vibrant hub of engineering, culture, and enduring soul. Kovai's heartbeat, from Chora's pride to Chera's strength, a land where warrior souls once walked by ancient hand. Now looms ignite the dawn, a southern gleam, the Manchester of threads, a textile dream. The Noyal flows, a lifeline calm and deep, where fertile fields their silent promise keep. And Sirvani's grace, a mountain's pure delight, quenches the earth and fills the day with light. Marudamalai stands at a sacred misty height, where temples glow, dispelling the darkest night. And history whispers on the bustling breeze, through steel and gear, the rustling, greening trees. A city born of grit, where progress finds its pace, with engineering bright and culture's warm embrace. From fiery festivals to tranquil twilight air, Coimbatore's proud heartbeats beyond compare. It's therefore most fitting that the 63rd Cost and Management Accountants Convention 2026 is hosted in this dynamic city. With huge respect and pride, Coimbatore cordially welcomes every one of you to the NCMAC 2026. We welcome you all. Thank you.
The honor to welcome on the stage Sri Ramanujadasan Velalur Sri Gopalakrishnan, a renowned Bharatanatyam artist whose devotion and art are inextricably linked. For the 6 consecutive years, he has graced the sacred halls of the Srirangam Perumal temple during Vaikunta Ekadasi and performed at Tirumala Tirupati temple during Brahmotsavam. His footprints in dance have blessed holy grounds such as Pandharpur Udupi Krishna temple, Srivilliputur Andal temple, and the renowned temples in Kumbakonam, Tiruvannamalai, and many more. Uniquely, he learnt Bharatanatyam from none other than Lord Venkateshwara himself. Through divine dreams, with a life dedicated to Perumal, performing daily pujas, he now brings us the sacred rhythm of devotion through dance. Fasten your smiles and tap your feet. The celebration starts now. Please put your hands together and welcome Sri Ramanujadasar to the stage.
సజ్జను సద్ధిమ్మి తక్క తది తక్క జను తాంగు తక్క 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 తాం
ஆடிக்கொண்டாரந்த வேடிக்கை காண கண் ஆயிரம் வேண்டாமோ ஆடிக்கொண்டார் அந்த வேடிக்கை காண கண் ஆயிரம் வேண்டாமோ அந்த வேடிக்கை காண கண் ஆயிரம் வேண்டாமோ நாடி துதிப்பவர் பங்கில் உறைபவர் நாடி துதிப்பவர் பங்கில் உறைபவர் நாடி துதிப்பவர் பங்கில் உறைபவர் நாடி துதிப்பவர் பங்கில் உறைபவர் நம்பர் திருச்செம்பொன் நம்பலவாணர் நம்பர் திருச்செம்பொன் நம்பலவாணர் நம்பர் திருச்செம்பொன் நம்பலவாணர் ஆடிக்கொண்டார் அந்த வேடிக்கை காண கண் ஆயிரம் வேண்டாமோ ஆடிக்கொண்டார் அந்த வேடிக்கை காண கண் ஆயிரம் வேண்டாமோ
జను తదింగిణత్తుం తదింగిణత్తుం తదింగటకట తకదికు తదింగిణత్తుం తకతదింగిణత్తుం తదింగిణత్తుం తజ్జం 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 దీం తకదిమి తజను దీం తకదిమి తజను దీం తకదిమి తజను
ஆரரவ மணிமாலைகளாட
கிடதகதரகிடதன்னம் தக்கடதகதரகிடதன்னம் தத்தக்கடதகதரகிடதன்னம் தகஜம் தகஜம் த
ஆடும் மரவம் படம் விரித்தாட
தகஜம் தடாங்கு தகதன திந்தின்ன திந்தின்னத்தும் தகஜம் தடாங்கு தகதன திந்தின்ன திந்தின்னத்தும்
ஆரரவ மணிமாலைகளாட ஆடும் மரவம் படம் விரித்தாட ஆரரவ மணிமாலைகளாட ஆடும் மரவம் படம் விரித்தாட சீரணி கொன்றை மலர்கொடையாட சிரமர தேராட சீரணி கொன்றை மலர்கொடையாட சிரமர தேராட பேரணி வேதிய தில்லை 3000 பேர்களும் போஷித்துக் கொண்டு நின்றாட பேரணி வேதிய தில்லை 3000 பேர்களும் போஷித்துக் கொண்டு நின்றாட காரணி காளி எதிர்த்து நின்றாட கனகசபை தரிலே காரணி காளி எதிர்த்து நின்றாட கனகசபை தரிலே ஆடிக்கொண்டார் அந்த வேடிக்கை காண கண் ஆயிரம் வேண்டாமோ ஆடிக்கொண்டார் அந்த வேடிக்கை காண கண் ஆயிரம் வேண்டாமோ ब्रह्ममुक्ते पर ब्रह्ममुक्ते पर ब्रह्ममुक्ते पर ब्रह्ममुक्ते कंगनाना कंगनाना पूरे कंगनाना भर कंगनाना भर పరబ్రహ్మమొక్కటే పరబ్రహ్మమొక్కటే పరబ్రహ్మం ఒక్కటే తందనారా 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 భల తందనారా భల తందనారా భల తందనారా భల తందనారా కడియే మీద కాయు ఎందుకటే ఉడమి సులగము మీద పొడయు ఎందుకటే కడియే మీద కాయు ఎందుకటే ఉడమి సులగము మీద పొడయు ఎందుకటే కడియే మీద కాయు ఎందుకటే ఉడమి సులగము మీద పొడయు ఎందుకటే కడుపుయులను పాప కర్ములను సరిగా కడియు శ్రీ వెంకటే కడుపులను పాప కర్ములను సరిగా కడియు శ్రీ వెంకటేశ్వరు నామం ఒకటి శ్రీ వెంకటేశ్వరు నామం శ్రీ వెంకటేశ్వరు నామం ఒకటి శ్రీ వెంకటేశ్వరు నామం ఈశ్వరు నామం ఈశ్వరు నామం వెంకటేశ్వరు నామం శ్రీ వెంకటేశ్వరు నామం ఒకటి తందనారాయణ తందనానా పురి తందనానా బల తందనానా బల తందనానా బల తందనానా బ్రహ్మమొక్కటే పర బ్రహ్మమొక్కటే పర బ్రహ్మమొక్కటే పర బ్రహ్మమొక్కటే తందనానా తందనానా పురి తందనా బల తందనానా బల తందనానా బల తందనానా బల తందనానా బల తందనానా ఓ బల తందనానా ఓ బల తందనానా
ಶರವಣ ಭವ ಗುಹನೇ ಷಣ್ಮುಖ ಶರವಣನೇ
ಜನ್ನತ ತಕ್ಕುಗು ಜಗದತ್ ತರಿಗಿಡ ಕಿರ್ರಕ್ಕಿಟ ತಗ ತಗ ತಜ್ಜಂ ಜಗದಕ್ಕಿಟ ತಗ ಜಗದತ್ ತಗದಿಗು ತಕ್ಕುಗು ದಿಕ್ಕುಗು ತಗ ತಜ್ಜಂ ಜನ್ನತ ತಕ್ಕುಗು ಜಗದತ್ ತರಿಗಿಡ ಕಿರ್ರಕ್ಕಿಟ ತಗ ತಗ ತಜ್ಜಂ ಜಗದಕ್ಕಿಟ ತಗ ಜಗದತ್ ತಗದಿಗು ತಕ್ಕುಗು ದಿಕ್ಕುಗು ತಗ ತಜ್ಜಂ ಜನ್ನತ ತಕ್ಕುಗು ಕಿರ್ರಕ್ಕಿಟ ತಗ ಜಗದತ್ ತಗದಿಗು ತಕ್ಕುಗು ತರಿಗಿಡ ತದಿಂಗಿನದು ತಗ ತದಿಂಗಿನದು ತಗದಿಗು ತದಿಂಗಿನದು ತಾ ತದಿಂಗಿನದು ತಗ ತದಿಂಗಿನದು ತಗದಿಗು ತದಿಂಗಿನದು ತಾ ததீங்கினது தக ததீங்கினது தகத்திக்கு ததீங்கினது சரவண பூந்தடத்தில் ஆறு மதலையாய் உதித்தவனாம் அரவணைத்தாள் கௌரி அவன் அருமுகனாய் சிரித்தான்
சரவண பூத்தடத்தில் ஆறு மதலையாய் உதித்தவனா சரவண பூத்தடத்தில் ஆறு மதலையாய் உதித்தவனா அரவணைத்தாள் கௌரி அவன் அருமுகனாய் சிரித்தான் அரவணைத்தாள் கௌரி அவன் அருமுகனாய் சிரித்தான் சரவண பூத்தடத்தில் ஆறு மதலையாய் உதித்தவனா அரவணைத்தாள் கௌரி அவன் அருமுகனாய் சிரித்தான் சரவண பூத்தடத்தில் ஆறு மதலையாய் உதித்தவனா அரவணைத்தாள் கௌரி அவன் அருமுகனாய் சிரித்தான் சரவண பவ குஹனே ஷண்முக சரவணனே சரவண பவ குஹனே ஷண்முக சரவணனே
தோ கிடதக தோ தோ கிடதக தக்கும் திக்குத்தக தரிகிட 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 தக்கும் திகு தரிகிட தக்கும் திகு தரிகிட கும் திகு தரிகிட தத்திக்கிறதும் தத்திக்கிறதும் கொண்டான். ஆங்கவன் ஆனை முகன் பெற்றிட ஆண்டியாய் வேடம் கொண்டான்.
மாங்கனி வேண்டி நின்றான் உலகை மாமயில் மீது வந்தான். மாங்கனி வேண்டி நின்றான் உலகை மாமயில் மீது வந்தான். ஆங்கவன் ஆனை முகன் பெற்றிட ஆண்டியாய் வேடம் கொண்டான். ஆங்கவன் ஆனை முகன் பெற்றிட ஆண்டியாய் வேடம் கொண்டான். மாங்கனி வேண்டி நின்றான் உலகை மாமயில் மீது வந்தான். ஆங்கவன் ஆனை முகன் பெற்றிட ஆண்டியாய் வேடம் கொண்டான். சரவண பவ குஹனே சண்முக சரவணனே. சரவண பவ குஹனே சண்முக சரவணனே.
தா தரி தன ஜம் தா தரி தன ஜம் தா தரி தன ஜம் தா தரி தன ஜம் த ஜன ஜன கிட்ட ஜம் ஜகதரி கிட்ட ஜம் குகுதரி தக ஜம் தக்கரதகடும் தக்கரதகடும் தக்கரதகடும். பிரணவ பொருளறியா அந்த பிரம்மனை சிறையில் இட்டான். அரணவன் உருவாக வந்து பிரணவ பொருள் உரைத்தான்.
பிரணவ பொருளறியா அந்த பிரம்மனை சிறையிலிட்டான். பிரணவ பொருளறியா அந்த பிரம்மனை சிறையிலிட்டான். அரணவன் குருவாக வந்து பிரணவ பொருள் சொன்னான். அரணவன் குருவாக வந்து பிரணவ பொருள் சொன்னான். பிரணவ பொருளறியா அந்த பிரம்மனை சிறையிலிட்டான். அரணவன் குருவாக வந்து பிரணவ பொருள் சொன்னான். சரவண பவ குஹனே சண்முக சரவணனே. சரவண பவ குஹனே சண்முக சரவணனே.
தகதத்தி தகதஜம் குகுதரி கிட்ட திமி தஜம் தகதரி தகதன தகஜனு தகதிமி தஜம் தக்கரதகடும். தகதத்தி தகதஜம் குகுதரி கிட்ட திமி தஜம் தகதரி தகதன தகஜனு தகதிமி தஜம் தக்கரதகடும். தத்தித்தரி தனஜுணு திமி தரிங்கினதுதா தித்தரி தனஜுணு திமி தரிங்கினதுதா தரித்தனஜுணு திமி தரிங்கினது. ஆவலாய் ஔவையவள் தமிழை ஆனந்தமாய் கேட்க நாவல் கனி பழத்தை சுட சுட நல்கி தமிழ் சுவைத்தான்.
ஆவலாய் ஔவையவள் தமிழை ஆனந்தமாய் கேட்க. ஆவலாய் ஔவையவள் தமிழை ஆனந்தமாய் கேட்க. நாவல் கனிப்பழத்தை சுட சுட நல்கி தமிழ் சுவைத்தான். 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 சரவண பவ குஹனே சண்முக சரவணனே. சரவண பவ குஹனே சண்முக சரவணனே.
தாதரித்த தனத்த ஜுணுத்த தகதரி கிட்ட தக 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 தாதரித்த தகதரி கிட்ட தக தாதனத்த தகதரி கிட்ட தக தாதரித்த தாதனத்த தக்கத்த ஜம் தத்திக்கடதகடும் தா தக்கத்த ஜம் தத்திக்கடதகடும் தா தக்கத்த ஜம் தத்திக்கடதகடும். உபய பதம் சூட்டி உவந்தருள் செய்தான். ஜம் ஜம் கெட்டதக ஜகதரி கெட்டதக ஜம் ஜம் கெட்டதக தக ஜக தரிகிட தக ஜம் ஜம் கிட தக ஜக தரிகிட தக தஜம் தஜம் தகஜம் கர மலர் வேலேந்தி கலாப மயில் மீது புறமகள் குஞ்சரியை அரவணைத்தான் வேலன்
அபயக்கரம் தூக்கி ஆட்கொள்வான் முருகன் உபயபதம் சூட்டி உவந்தருள் செய்தான் அபயக்கரம் தூக்கி ஆட்கொள்வான் முருகன் உபயபதம் சூட்டி உவந்தருள் செய்தான் கரமலர் வேலேந்தி கலாபமயில் மீது புறமகள் குஞ்சரியை அரவணைத்தான் வேலன் கரமலர் வேலேந்தி கலாபமயில் மீது புறமகள் குஞ்சரியை அரவணைத்தான் வேலன் சரவண பவ குஹனே சண்முக சரவணனே சரவண பவ குஹனே சண்முக சரவணனே
தக்கிட தக தரிகிட தக திக்கிட தக தரிகிட தக தாக்கு தீக்கு தத் தித்த தாக்கு தீக்கு தத் தித்த தஜம் 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 ததிகிட தஜம் ததிகிட தஜம் ததிகிட
சரவண பவ குஹனே சண்முக சரவணனே சரவண பவ குஹனே சண்முக சரவணனே சரவண பவ குஹனே சூரனை வதம் செய்தான் செந்தூர் கடலில் கோயில் கொண்டான் கரமலர் வேலேந்தி நாளும் அடியவர்க்கு அருள் தந்தார் அடியவர்க்கு அருள் தந்தார் அடியவர்க்கு அருள் தந்தார்
ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮನೆ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮನೆ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆ ನಿಂಕುದ ಗೆಜ್ಜೆ ಕಾಲಿನ ನಾದವ ತೋರುದ ಸಜ್ಜನ ಸಾಧು ಪೂಜೆ ವೇಳೆಗೆ ಮಜ್ಜಿಗೆಯೊಳಗಿನ ಬೆಣ್ಣೆಯಂತೆ ಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ಕನಕ ವೃಷ್ಟಿ ಕರಯುತ ಬಾರೆ ಮನಕೆ ಮಾನವ ಸಿದ್ಧಿಯ ತೋರೆ ನಿನಕನ ಕೋಟಿ ದೇಯದಿ ಕೊಳೆಯುವ ಜನಕಜರಾಯನ ಕುಮಾರಿ ಬೇಗ ಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮನೆ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ಅತ್ತಿತ್ತಗಳರ ಭಕ್ತರ ಮನೆಯೊಳು ನಿತ್ಯ ಮಗೋತ್ಸವ ನಿತ್ಯ ಸುಮಂಗಳ ಸತ್ಯವ ತೋರುದ ಸಾಧು ಸಜ್ಜನರ ಚಿತ್ತದಿ ಪೊಳೆಯುವ ಪುತ್ಥಳಿ ಗೊಂಬೆ ಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ಶಂಖೆ ಇಲ್ಲದ ಭಾಗ್ಯವ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಕಂಕಣ ಕೈಯ ತಿರುಗುದ ಬಾರೆ ಕುಂಕುಮಾಂಕಿತ ಪಂಕಜ ಲೋಚನೆ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣನ ಪಿಂಗದರ ಶುಕ್ರವಾರದ ಪೂಜೆ ವೇಳೆಗೆ ಅಕ್ಕರೆಯುಳ್ಳ ಅಳಗಿರಿ ರಂಗನ ಸೊಕ್ಕ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನರಾಯಣ ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ತುಪ್ಪ ಕಾಲುವೆ ಹರಿಸುತ್ತ ಶುಕ್ರವಾರದ ಪೂಜೆ ವೇಳೆಗೆ ಅಕ್ಕರೆಯುಳ್ಳ ಅಳಗಿರಿ ರಂಗನ ಸೊಕ್ಕ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನರಾಯಣಿ ಭಾಗ್ಯದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯದ 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 ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ.
With thunderous applause for the splendid performance. With due respect, I request CMA-TCA Srinivasa Prasad, President of the Institute, to present the memento and adorn him with the shawl to Sri Ramanujadasan Vellalur Sri Gopalakrishnan for the exquisite performance. Let us give a huge round of applause for the splendid performance of Sri Ramanujadasan Vellalur Sri Gopalakrishnan. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Honorable Chief Guest, esteemed Council members of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, Regional Council members, formal presidents, representatives of the various chapters across the nation, office bearers of the Institute, dear delegates, distinguished speakers, and fellow cost and management accountants, colleagues, students, friends from media, and a special welcome to the members and students joined virtually from across the globe. It is my proud privilege to welcome you all to the 63rd National Cost and Management Accountants Convention, organized by the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. We are extremely honored by the august presence of our esteemed dignitaries, senior professionals, and eminent speakers whose leadership and vision continue to guide and strengthen the CMA profession. Your presence adds great significance to this inaugural gathering. The theme of this convention, Reposition, Intensify, Strengthen, and Enhance, is both timely and transformational. It reflects the evolving responsibilities of cost and management accountants in a rapidly changing economic environment where strategic cost leadership, governance, sustainability, and value creation are paramount. This convention aims to provide a platform for meaningful dialogue through leadership and knowledge exchange, enabling CMAs to reposition their roles, intensify professional competencies, strengthen institutional framework, and enhance their contribution to industry, government, and nation building. On behalf of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, I extend a very warm and respectful welcome to our chief guest, distinguished speakers, and all the delegates who have joined us from across the nation. We look forward to an inspiring inaugural session that will set the tone for insightful deliberations over the course of the convention. With these words, I once again welcome you all and request your wholehearted participation in the proceedings. Thank you.
A symbol of knowledge, enlightenment, and the dispelling of darkness, the ceremonial light of the lamp is a revered tradition that transcends culture and signifies the pursuit of wisdom. As we inaugurate, we honor this ancient ritual, infusing it with the spirit of collaboration and intellectual exploration. Allow the radiance of this symbolic act to ignite the flame of curiosity within us, inspiring the exchange of ideas and the forging of connection that will define the success of NCMAC. We request the dignitaries to light the auspicious lamp, signifying the formal commencement of the 63rd National Cost and Management Accountant Convention 2026.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय.
The first flame symbolizes hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of time, there is a glimmer of light that promises a brighter tomorrow. The second flame symbolizes unity. Just as these flames merges their brilliance, we too come together, united for our diversity. The third flame symbolizes aspiration, which reminds us of the courage to reach for the stars and turn our aspiration into reality. The fourth flame represents love. It is the love that binds us, the love that makes this grand feast a celebration of our shared humanity. Finally, the fifth flame represents courage. Life shrinks or expands in one's proportion to courage.
तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय असतो मा सद्गमय.
The lamp representing the beacon of knowledge serves as guiding light, illuminating the path of our collective journey. Over the next 3 days, as we gather here from diverse corners of the country, the glow of the lamp symbolizes unity in our pursuit of understanding, innovation, and shared progress. May the light of knowledge shine brightly upon us, guiding our deliberation and fostering a spirit of collaboration. We request the dignitaries to please be seated. Thank you, dignitaries.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome the dignitaries to the Day 2026 and CMA Neeraj Joshi, Vice President of the Institute and Chairman of NCMAC, to please accompany the Chief Guest, Shri Narayan Sethuraman, Managing Director, Sanma Technologies Private Limited, to the dais. Let's put our hands together for our Chief Guest. We welcome to the dais CMA Manoj Kumar Anand, Council Member of the Institute and Convener of NCMAC-2026. We welcome CMA Ashwin G. Dalwadi, Council Member and former President of the Institute, Chairman of Technical Committee of the NCMAC. We welcome CMA Vijay Kiran Agastya, Chairman SARC of the Institute and Co-Chairman of the NCMAC, to the dais. All of your presence here today makes this occasion truly special, and we are honored to have all of you here with us. Let's give a thunderous applause to our dignitaries on the dais. Thank you.
As we gather here today to commence the 63rd National Cost and Management Accountants Convention, let us take a moment to set a harmonious tone for our proceedings. Before we delve into the wealth of knowledge and discussions awaiting us, we invite you to partake in soulful Tamil Thai Vaarthu that will uplift our spirits and provide a moment of reflection. We request everyone to rise for Tamil Thai Vaarthu.
you all.
The honor of welcoming this national convention belongs to our delegate whose voice carries experience, wisdom, and a genuine commitment to progress. It's my pleasure to invite CME Manoj Kumar Anand, Council Member of the Institute and Convener of the NCMAC, to deliver the welcome address.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our chief guest of this inaugural session, Shri Narayanan Seturaman, our president of the institute, Shri Prashad, vice president of the institute, Neeraj Joshi ji, former president Ashwin Dalwadi ji, SARC chairperson, my council colleagues who are present here, all council colleagues are here, former presidents, delegates from various public sector undertakings, our students, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome all of you on behalf of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India on this 63rd National Convention in this beautiful and enchanting city of Coimbatore. We just witnessed a very thrilling performance just before the start of this. It was amazing. The balancing and everything was simply amazing. Friends, the theme of this convention has been thought over very studiously by the council and especially by President and Vice President and of course former President Dalwadi ji. Rise India. We are syncing ourselves with the overall aspirations of our great country, India, and we are trying that our profession should be bridging the gaps in that line, basically. During the coming 2 days, you will be witnessing excellent technical sessions by excellent scholars who have gathered from all over India to this place. This theme, it has 4 thematic tracks of this convention. First is repositioning India and our role as cost and management accountants. My other colleagues will be giving you a detailed roadmap as to what we are doing by aligning our syllabus. Vinay is looking into that, and we are now trying to bridge the gaps, and we are trying to bridge the aspirations and the industry requirements by way of our syllabus, basically. Then intensifying growth of the profession, we are trying to strengthen our competence and capabilities, and we are enhancing the capabilities for manufacturing and service leadership, for which you will be witnessing the interlinking with all the industrialists who will be coming in our technical sessions. I'm sure this beautiful city, the beautiful people over here, excellent food, and Isha Foundation, which is nearby around 1 hour, will provide you with an all-over-encompassing experience to this place. With this, on behalf of my council, I welcome all of you for a very thrilling experience. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my proud privilege to invite the Vice President of the Institute and Chairman of this NCMAC. His dynamic leadership, meticulous planning, and steadfast commitment have been instrumental in shaping this convention. Please join me in warmly welcoming CMA Neeraj Dhananjay Joshi, Vice President of the Institute and Chairman of NCMAC, to deliver his address to the gathering.
very good afternoon to all the participants and a warm welcome on behalf of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, ICMAI. Respected Shri Narayan Sethuraman sir, Chief Guest of today's program, CMA TCA Srinivasa Prasad sir, President of ICMAI, CMA Ashwin Dalwadi ji, former President of ICMAI, CMA Manoj Kumar Anand ji, Council Member and Convener of NCMAC-2026, CMA Vijay Kiran Agatsya sir, Chairman SIRC and Co-Chairman of NCMAC, all former Presidents of the Institute, my colleagues in the Council, Regional Council and chapters, members of the Institute and corporate delegates. I welcome you to the 63rd National Cost and Management Accountants Convention 2026. For this NCMAC, we have chosen the theme of Rise India that signifies the vision of the Institute for the future of our great profession. Rise, as you all know by now, stands for reposition, intensify, strengthen and enhance. NCMAC is one of the means to deliberate on each of these aspects to have a clear vision of what needs to be achieved by the profession and professionals so as to continue our contribution to the growth story of India. During the next 2 days, we will listen to industry experts, renowned academicians, policymakers, and would have chance to deliberate on our collective vision of Rise India and Rise CMA. The recent developments in the world have certainly shown us that world order is changing, or the norms around which the world economics mood is changing. And there seems to be a clear divide once again between the Western powers and rest of the world. Multipolarity is now the new buzzword, and India unfortunately is at its receiving end. For one simple major reason, if you ask me, and is that we are growing too fast for the liking of too many. And we are going strong, which is not liked by the world powers. This growth is the result of dedication and efforts by all of us in every field of work. The CMAs have also been proud part of this story by engaging with the stakeholders in achieving cost optimization, resource optimization, financial planning, ensuring compliances, etc. Peter Drucker has said, the greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence. It is to act with yesterday's logic. The current times are equally turbulent and the CMAs have to embrace Rise wholeheartedly. The time has come for us to do something more, something extra that will allow us to counter the economic challenges that would surely come our way, and that's where the Rise India, Rise CMA will resonate well. CMAs will now have to look beyond their traditional roles and adopt more innovative thinking. Why I feel that from here onwards, the economic success will be achieved by creating differentiating products, differentiating technologies, differentiating services. And as auditors, consultants, advisors, we have to play our role in achieving this. We will have to work with industry in developing a sustainable supply chain that is both efficient and cost effective. We will also have to ensure that innovation is supported by value re-engineering and resource optimization, strategies that would go forward. CMAs also have to play a crucial role in the whole AI ecosystem. The development of AI is at exponential rate, and what we are seeing today will be like a stone age for AI in next decade. This will surely generate threats for the profession per se, but it will be a great boost for overall economy if we as a nation can be one of the front runners in this new world order. Service industry will surely see a sea change, and we being part of it would not be isolated either. We have to make sure that we develop agile consultancy and consultancy tool models. The demand of the stakeholders in terms of deployment of analytical tools has to be met in the shortest possible time, and that is how we professionals can add real value to the AI game. CMAs in profession till date have been mainly focusing on compliance, which has its own importance in generating world-class and reliable ecosystem and organizations that are trustworthy and attract FDI. But now the time has come to shift the focus on consultancy as well. Honorable PM also has expressed this vision of creating Indian Big Four consultancy firms, and the CMAs shall take lead in this effort. We have to adopt and adapt to the new and upcoming areas of consultancy. This will require a lot of relearning and acquiring new skills and knowledge, and the concept of RISE will be at our hand to make our mark. Sir, Winston Churchill had said, to improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often. So, in times to come, the learning will be frequent, the disruptions will be frequent, and CMAs will have to be ready for such frequent changes so as to be relevant and to continue our contribution for growth of our nation. Ultimately, we have to adopt RISE as a philosophy of life. We have to ensure that our actions are conceptually aligned to Industry 5.0, where the focus will be on human-machine integration to ensure sustainability of environment and also human life. To conclude, I will reiterate words of wisdom by great Rabindranath Tagore. The highest education is that which does not merely give us information, but makes our life in harmony with all existence. I once again welcome all of you for NCMAC-2026, and I wish that all of us will realize the dream of RISE India. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our esteemed chief guest, Sri Narayan Seduraman, has achieved remarkable milestones in his distinguished career and continues to be a source of inspiration to all of us at the NCMAC. As we express our sincere gratitude for graciously accepting our invitation and for honoring this NCMAC with his kind presence despite his demanding schedule, we would like to present a token of our appreciation. I may now request CMA TCA Srinivasa Prasad, President of the Institute and Chief Patron of the 63rd NCMAC 2026, to present a memento to our chief guest, Sri Narayan Seduraman, and adorn him with a shawl. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. This memento serves as a small gesture, a symbol of our deep respect and a heartfelt thanks for the wisdom, experience, and inspiration. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, dignitaries. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to invite a distinguished delegate who brings clarity of thought and depth of insight to our deliberations. Entrusted with introducing the theme of this NCMAC, Reposition India and CMAs, Intensify, Strengthen and Enhance. CMA Ashwinji Dalwadi, Council Member and former President of the Institute and Chairman, Technical Committee of the NCMAC, will set the intellectual and strategic tone for the sessions ahead. Please put your hands together in welcoming CMA Ashwinji Dalwadi to the stage.
Good afternoon. Sri Narayan Sethuramanji, President TCS S. Srinivasanji, Vice President Neerajji, M.K. Anandji, and Vijay Kiranji, and of the dais, former presidents, council colleagues, regional council, and chapter representatives and colleagues, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to stand before you in giving the overview of the today's 63rd National Cost Management Accountants Convention, NCMAC, Rise India. The Rise India represents the Council's long-term IIM Ahmedabad guided approach to reposition ICMAI as a strategic contributor to India's economic growth, transformation, and aligned with the national aspiration of becoming third largest global economy. Please note that this framework sets the direction and it is not the destination. Let me give you a brief background about this theme. Before elections, all ministries were directed to prepare a vision document for their own ministry and their departments for vision under the name Vision 2047. And as a part of it, we being part of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, we were also advised to prepare our document and vision document for 2047. At this juncture, we thought that whatever we do, in Gujarati we call it Parki Ma Kaan Vinde. Matlab somebody outsider only can pierce our daughter's ear. So we thought that it is better that instead of we develop within the council or within the institute, let us approach some renowned consultants. And we found that IIM Ahmedabad is known for strategy development. There were two other goals also were achieved through this selection. One, it is an Indian origin, so make in India, within India. So we did it, and finally we received some inputs, not final one, that we shall concentrate on 4 pillars and move ahead for the growth of the institute, and that is RISE. RISE India strategy has been developed, it is on a 4 pillars, and before that, see, we deliberated a lot and found that we are hardly 18% of chartered accountants, cost accountants, and CS members. We need to rise, and if India is rising from 4.1 trillion to 30 trillion growth by 2047, then also we need to grow. Accordingly, after a lot of deliberations, we found that we need to reach our membership by from 1 lakh to 16.5 lakhs by 2047. It is a mammoth job, challenging job, but our council is ready to accept, and on that front, we are moving ahead with this, and as a part of it, IIM has recommended RISE. Three main things they have suggested: visit our mission and vision statements, carve out distinct professional identity, and action plan formula, action plan pillars called RISE. What is RISE? Of course, my earlier speakers have already explained, but let me give you the background. Reposition the brand, intensify the growth, enhance capabilities, and strengthen competencies. Now in this, by this, what we are going to achieve, our focus area are through RISE, revitalize the brand identity. Outcome by 2047 will be unified brand in the ecosystem, CMA as a strategic advisors. I stands for institutional growth and outreach. This would be the focus area, and our outreach would be 16 lakhs CMA members and having reach up to 70% of the top universities. Academic and competency reforms, this is the focus area, and global, we will be having global benchmarks, digital case-based curriculum, and governance and education capacity, execution capacity. This outcome would be data-driven, digitally integrated, and agile ICMAI. So this looks simple in addressing, but the big question is how to reach from 1 lakh to 16.5 lakhs. And for that, we have chosen this theme for NCMAC, and during the period of this 3 days sessions, we will deliberate about the rise of the India as well as rise of the institute. I will not take time, but I invite you also to provide your feedback and continued partnership, which we mean with you, and we invite your suggestions and inputs on this Rise India proposition. Thank you.
It's our proud privilege to call upon our distinguished leader, the President of the Institute and Chief Patron of this NCMAC-2026, whose foresight, commitment, and inspirational leadership continue to shape our academic and professional excellence. Please give a warm welcome and huge round of applause to CMA-TCA Srinivasa Prasad, President of the Institute and Chief Patron of the NCMAC-2026, to address the gathering.
Vanakkam Coimbatore. Respected Sri Narayan Sethuraman sir, CMA Neeraj D. Joshi, Vice President ICMA, Chairman 63rd NCMAC 2026, CMA Manoj Kumar Anand, Council Member ICMAI, Convener 63rd NCMAC 2026, CMA Ashwin Dalwadi, former My President, Chairman Technical Committee, CMA Vijay Kiran Agastyaji, who is on the stage. Esteemed council members, former presidents, former SAFA president, I will have to mention our chief guest is here because of Mr. A.N. Raman. Thank you, sir. Distinguished guests, industry leaders, academicians, students, fellow professionals, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, namaskar and warm greetings to everyone present. It's with great pride and deep sense of purpose that the CMA fraternity gathers here in the industrious and innovation-driven city of Coimbatore. All of you know Coimbatore had an illustrious person who was a great innovator, G.D. Naidu. A city that truly symbolizes enterprise, resilience, and progress. This 63rd National Cost and Management Accountants Convention 2026 has been envisioned around a powerful national and professional mission which was being explained earlier by our Dalwadi sir. Rise India, reposition India and CMAs, intensify growth, strengthen competence, and enhance capabilities. The convention seeks to empower the profession for the next frontier, aligning our collective efforts with the national aspiration of Rise India, a future where India stands strong as a globally competitive, transparent, sustainable, and innovation-led economy. As we gather here to celebrate this momentous occasion, it is heartening to note that the goodwill and encouragement the Institute has received from various eminent personalities. It's a matter of great honor for this gathering that a gracious message of goodwill has been received from the Honorable Vice President of India. The Honorable Vice President has conveyed his warm greetings and best wishes to all the delegates, participants and organizers of this event, and he has, this being his place, he has expressed his regret at not being able to join the occasion in person due to prior commitments when I met him personally at Vice President Enclave, and that he would certainly attend our program in future. So we thank our Honorable Vice President for this. Let us take a moment to have the thoughtful message received from the Honorable Vice President of India. I am pleased to know that the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, ICMAI, is organizing the 63rd National Cost and Management Accountants Convention, NCMAC-2026, at Coimbatore on the theme Rise India, Reposition India and CMAs, Intensify Growth, Strengthen Competence, and Enhance Capabilities from 9th to 11th January 2026. Since its inception in 1959, the Institute has played a vital role in promoting cost competitiveness, financial discipline, and good governance across industry and government. As the world's largest body of cost and management accountants, ICMAI continues to support nation building by fostering professional excellence and strengthening the foundations of a robust and globally competitive economy. The 63rd NCMAC 2026 provides a vital platform for thought leadership, professional dialogue, and knowledge sharing among practitioners, policymakers, industry leaders, academicians, and experts from diverse sectors. Such inclusive engagement is crucial for shaping progressive strategies and fostering equitable growth and will be vital to India's march towards Viksit Bharat 2047. I am confident that this convention will stimulate constructive dialogue and practical solutions. I extend my best wishes for the successful conduct of the 63rd National Cost and Management Accountants Convention and for the continued progress of the CMA community. The goodwill message from the Honorable Vice President of India has been received with deep gratitude. His kind wishes will continue to inspire us, the endeavors of all associated with the Institute. With these words of encouragement, the proceedings of the NCMAC shall now continue. Shri Harsh Malhotra, our minister, has also sent his wishes and blessings for this convention. India today is at an extraordinary moment of opportunity with structural reforms, digital transformation, manufacturing momentum, infrastructure expansion, sustainability imperatives, and increasing global confidence. The economic trajectory is set toward long-term growth. In this transformative era, cost and management's CMAs are architects, governance, enablers, performance, strategists, advocates of efficiency and transparency, and champions of sustainable and inclusive growth. To rise as a nation, the profession must rise in equal measure, in relevance, in capability, in credibility, and in strategic contribution. Repositioning India and CMAs in the world stage requires disciplined cost systems, robust analytics, strong financial stewardship, and evidence-based decision support. India's march towards 2047 calls for a renewed identity for the CMA profession, one rooted in thought leadership, policy engagement, and global recognition. Intensifying the growth, the coming decades provide unprecedented opportunities to CMAs to assume leadership roles in consulting, advisory, analytics, and strategic management. Rapid industrial expansion, digital transformation, capital-intensive infrastructure programs, and globalized supply chains require highly skilled cost strategies and performance leaders. Focus areas include consultancy, MDP models, and global professional firms, strategic partnership in MSMEs, startups, and Digital India initiatives, enhancing competitiveness through innovation and cost optimization, to name a few. On the strengthening competence and capability, as global business shifts towards digital and sustainable models, competence must evolve continuously. And the key focus areas, some of them: mastering AI, blockchain, data analytics and automation, leadership of integrated reporting, sustainability and climate finance, updates on ICMA reforms, CAASB standards and cost audit expansion, global benchmarking with leading management accounting bodies. Competence builds credibility, capability builds relevance. Both together shape trust. With regard to enhancing capabilities and manufacturing and service leadership sector, this covers critical sectorial capabilities: cost leadership in logistics, healthcare, energy, aviation, ports, telecom, new age costing for Industry 5.0 and smart manufacturing, lean operations, solvent recovery and energy optimization, strategic costing for IT, BFSI, e-commerce and service sectors. Here lies the hallmark strength of the CMA profession, integrating operations with finance to deliver measurable value. Over the next 3 days, thought leaders, policymakers, corporate leaders, scholars and practitioners will deliberate, learn and collaborate to shape the professional roadmap ahead. Technical sessions and CMA leaders meet are curated to generate actionable outcome and not just simple discussions. A special word of appreciation is due to the Convention Committee and other organizing committees of 63rd NCMAC 2026, the Southern India Regional Council, the Coimbatore chapter, officials of the Institute and all dedicated volunteers for their tireless efforts in hosting this landmark convention. Gratitude is also extended to our esteemed speakers, partners from government and industry, sponsors, and each participant, each one of you whose presence enriches everybody participating. Let this 63rd NCMAC 2026 become a platform for renewed purpose, a forum for bold ideas, a catalyst for professional excellence, and a step forward in India's journey toward becoming a developed nation. May the CMA fraternity continue to serve the nation with competence, integrity, innovation, and commitment. Wishing all participants meaningful deliberations and a highly successful convention with a comfortable stay at this beautiful city. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. As a part of today's proceedings, we have the pleasure of unveiling the technical guide on cost management in healthcare services. May I now kindly invite our esteemed dignitaries on the dais to grace this moment by releasing the publication. Let us all witness this special occasion together. This technical guide on cost management in healthcare services, developed by the Cost Accounting Standard Board of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, provides a comprehensive framework for understanding and implementing effective cost management strategies in the healthcare sector. It dwells into various aspects of healthcare costing, including cost allocation practices, revenue and expenditure streams, industry trends, regulatory approaches, and global practices. Thank you, dignitaries.
It's an honor for me to introduce our chief guest for this momentous occasion, Sri Narayan Sethuraman, Managing Director, Sanma Engineering Technologies Private Limited. Sri Narayan Sethuraman is a highly accomplished business leader with extensive global experience across engineering and manufacturing. He currently oversees the Sanma Group's steel casting and specialized wall manufacturing operations across India, the United States, and Mexico. And he has played a pivotal role in expanding the group's international presence while driving innovation and sustainability in engineering solutions. Over the course of his distinguished career, he has held several senior leadership positions, including President and Chief Executive Officer of the McLean Asia Pacific, Managing Director and CEO of WS Industries India Limited, and Managing Director of Hydro SNS Industries Limited. His leadership has consistently contributed to operational excellence, strategic growth, and global competitiveness. Beyond corporate leadership, Sri Narayan Sethuraman has made significant contributions to the industry and policy advocacy. He currently serves as the co-chairman of the CII International Council and the CII Trade Policy Council, and is a member of several national and sectoral councils of the Confederation of Indian Industry. His past leadership roles include serving as a chairman of CII Tamil Nadu, National Chairman of CII Young Indians, and Chairman of the CII Total Cost Management Cell. With his deep expertise in global operations, strategic business development, manufacturing excellence, and leadership development, Sri Narayan Sethuraman continues to be a respected voice in industry and nation building. We are honored to have you with us today as our chief guest, sir. Through innovation and integrity, the enterprise he has set benchmarks of excellence and contributed significantly to the nation's growth. The stage is yours, sir. Thank you.
Where do you want me to?
That's fine. Esteemed dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Afternoon. Good. I thought at 4:15 on a Friday afternoon, I was wondering what this mood in the audience is going to be, but I'll try to make this as informative and educational as possible. And first of all, I'd like to thank the esteemed dignitaries here for inviting me to address all of you this afternoon. You know, it takes me back many, many years. In fact, I was one of the people who were part of the founding group of the the CII Total Cost Management Cell way back in 1998. So it's about 27 years, and after that, you know, we did quite a few of the Cost Congress events, and also I had the privilege of presenting 2 case studies in the Harvard Business School in Boston in 2001, where we actually addressed the entire MBA class with a couple of Indian case studies. So, you know, I was in preparing for this session, I actually went back to some of those presentations, and I was struck by quite a few things have not changed over the last 24 years when it comes to basics. And obviously quite a few things have changed, whether it's the role of technology, its speed of operations, etc. It's great that this event is happening in Coimbatore, and you know, this is a city, as Shri Srinivas Prasad said, that it's a city of innovation, it's a city of entrepreneurship, it's a beautiful city, and I think the C stands for Coimbatore and C stands for competitiveness, which is one of the themes of this today's event. I have a twin privilege or twin qualification, I would say, in speaking today, because the early part of my career, I spent quite a bit of time in doing activity-based costing, activity-based management. So while I'm not a cost accountant, I can say that I have deep dived into the subject quite a bit over several years. And today, sitting in the CXO office, you know, it gives you both another perspective, as well as the demand for data, demand for performance, demand for support, and I'll touch upon it as I go along. You know, it's great. Cost management is a subject it's after my own heart, and when I was invited to speak today, so I thought what I will do is, I was told that I have about 30 minutes, and so in this, I was particularly impressed by the theme of the conference that the committee has done a splendid job in putting together, because nowadays, you know, and no offense to any of the consultants here, but consultants typically tend to talk about resilience, perseverance, profitable growth, etc. But I think the committee made it very simple in calling it reposition, intensify, strengthen, and enhance. I think that is really what, you know, it's, when you say going back to basics, I think you started with basic terms. And so what I will talk about is building from this theme of reposition, intensify, strengthen, and enhance. And as I said, I believe it's synonymous with resilience, perseverance leading to profitable growth. How do we use cost management as a strategy, which is of interest to all of you here? So over the next 30 minutes, what I'll do is that I'll cover what is total cost management from a leadership perspective. Why is the TTCM required? I mean, we all know why it's required, but I'll give you some perspectives. TCM in the artificial intelligence age, what do I see as the role of cost professionals, and then a final conclusion. So basically, I redefine this, and please indulge me here, in saying that TCM is a management tool which can be adopted by any business to enable it to reposition, intensify, strengthen, and enhance. The theme of your conference. And we'll get into how we go about it. But in short, it's about getting businesses to get competitive, build resilience, and advance on a path to profitable growth. Why is TCM necessary? We all know that today we live in a VUCA world. India is the land of opportunity. All the earlier speakers alluded to the land of opportunity. But, the problem with opportunity is that sometimes it tends to make people reckless. And I think it's very important that, as a country, as responsible leaders in corporates or in government, whichever may be your field, it is important at this point in time to keep a sane head and, stay mature, stay grounded. In fact, I would say stay grounded is probably the most important term that I would use. Again, India, the global startup capital. And, I sometimes worry when people talk about terms like, they talk about cash burn at startups or in technology companies as it's almost a virtue. And I know that I think all of us will agree that cash burn is never a virtue. And again, I see cost management professionals again playing an advisory role, a guidance role, a leading role, even at startups. So while keeping the spirit of innovation, keeping that spirit of entrepreneurship, keeping that spirit of wanting rapid growth, at the same time, startups also is important that they stay grounded. We have an uncertain geopolitical climate and a lot of trade distorting actions. I'm sure everybody has seen the headlines today about a potential 500% tariff, and we never heard terms like this till the beginning of 2025, right? 500% tariff, 50% tariff, fentanyl tariff, all these terms, we never heard it till 2025. So there are a lot of trade distorting actions going on today. The world is, truly becoming a more uncertain place. I know that, when it comes to wage inflation, yes, you will hear theories on the fact that wage inflation in India has been low over the last few years, but I think that if you look at, many people here from corporates, many people here from other organizations, and if you will, we have to benchmark ourselves against our neighboring countries in Southeast Asia, whether it's Vietnam, whether it's Thailand, whether it's Cambodia, whether it's Korea, which is a more advanced country, and many other countries in the world. And it is a fair statement to say that annual wage inflation here is higher than many other parts of the world. Now, the important aspect here is that is it accompanied by the corresponding or even higher rise in productivity? I think that is a question mark. And therefore, the next statement that I have, which is, if you don't have the necessary increase in productivity, over a period of time, you're going to have lack of adequate skills at competitive costs. When you start having a demand-supply imbalance, you will start, and people start competing for that talent. You will reach a stage where costs of, start becoming uncompetitive. We have to look at global cost and product benchmarking, and total cost management, in my opinion, and at least the way I've practiced it, and I'm very happy that, I always consider Sri N. Raman, who's sitting here, as my cost guru. So, they say that a Sishya always has to obey the guru. So when he said that you have to speak here, I couldn't say no to him. So, very happy that he's here today. And but the way we practiced it, the fundamental aspect is that it's a tool which enables deep diving. One of the concerns I have as a leader of organizations is that there's not enough deep diving, being done. Yes, you have all the data analytics you want, you have, all that is great, but do people actually sit down, understand the data, deep dive into the data, look behind the data to see what is it telling? I would say that it leaves a lot to be desired, and I've discussed this with industry counterparts, industry peers, industry colleagues, and by and large, many of us have the same concern. It's important that we understand that cost is a process and cost is not an outcome. And that's another reason why total cost management is very essential in organizations. And why do I say that cost is a process? Because, you're sitting in the foundry capital of India. Now, if somebody tells you here that my cost per ton is X, that cost per ton is not just happening. It's happening because of the man hours per ton of productivity, it's because of the weld rods being used, it's because of the yield in the process, it's because of the scrap being used. It's a total process, and it's important that we recognize that and manage cost as a process, and therefore cost leadership to build resilience becomes critical. If we look at strategies, there was a lot of conversation about strategies, and conventionally, if you look at different companies follow different strategies. Some follow a strategy of saying, I will get dominant market share. I think we've all learnt about, especially there's been a lot of talks about airlines having dominant market share in the recent past. Some want to be a technology leader. Some want to be a new product innovator, constantly bringing in new products into the market. Some want to be a leader in ESG and use that as a source of competitive advantage. That becomes very important. For example, today when you're talking of de-risking and diversifying markets, if you want to become a big exporter to Europe, or you want to retain your position as a major exporter to Europe, ESG becomes a major tool and a major source of competitive advantage. Okay, I'm sorry.
So we are not running away.
Don't worry, no problem. So some look at being intensely competitive as a strategy. For example, if you take the companies in China, many of them look at first going and completely taking over a market, and then so competition and being intensely competitive is a strategy. Quality can be a strategy, and cost leadership is definitely a strategy. But let's understand, and when I talked about the fact that some things haven't changed from 2001, certain realities don't change. Resilient companies who are there for the long term, I see 4 primary characteristics. The 4 primary characteristics are the products are globally competitive, you constantly benchmark, you're constantly looking at your competitive situation versus global competition. Live and breathe ESG, and this I think is true in the day, it becomes even more important in the days to come. Products cannot be replaced by imports. I think, I am on a couple of Government of India task forces where we're actually working on looking at how do we risk mitigate imports? Where is India vulnerable to imports? We look at, that is something that the government is also very focused on, and industry is also very focused on. And the products cannot be rendered obsolete by technology. So, if I look at the future and say, what does the future hold? I think it's important to recognize that strategic initiatives, we will, all of us in our daily lives, we will continue to take strategic initiatives in the area of marketing. And when I say marketing, it's not just sales, it's marketing also, and especially marketing. Technology, we will be continuously doing process and product innovation. You will be coming out with new products. There will be strategies for ESG. There will be digital and AI initiatives that all of you are taking and will take. They're all critical, but my opinion is that these initiatives should be driven by impact on cost and competitiveness of the respective organization. At the end of the day, how competitive is your product or service, and how do you see that position? We have to get into predictive competitiveness. Just very quickly, I'll take a couple of minutes. If you look at the evolution of cost, and all of you know this, that in 60s, 70s, cost plus profit was selling price. Then 80s, 90s, we said selling price is a given, cost is a given, and profit is a derived number or the resultant number. But then organizations started evolving to saying that I need a desired profit. My selling price is given, it's determined by the market or determined by competition, and therefore I need to work towards a target cost. And I think that position really hasn't changed too much. There are different tools that we are using to reach the target cost today, including use of AI, use of technology, etc. But broadly, I think in terms of the paradigm shift, this paradigm, the third paradigm, is where I would say that broadly we are today. I presume most of you agree on that, right? That's really where we are today. So, going down that same path, I believe that, cost drive positioning. Costs are not just accounting. They drive where you position yourself, which markets you position yourself, where in the supply chain you position yourself. Do I need to backward integrate? Do I need to forward integrate? Do I need to build up scale? So that whole positioning is driven by cost. And actually, if I plan, when we should be all constantly thinking about the future, we should actually be, I feel that future-oriented cost management is actually management of resilience and growth. All organizations have to grow. We cannot stay still. And in the opportunity that we have in India today, we have to keep growing faster. I would say that double-digit growth is a norm. It's not an aspiration anymore. And therefore, whatever we do in terms of strategic moves, whether it's mergers, whether it's acquisitions, whether it's technology pivots, whether it's workforce redesign, whether it's, they're very often strategic cost decisions. And that's the way I look at it. So in all this, why do we feel an institutionalized structure for total cost management is required? Historically, cost has been seen as an accounting domain. And I think that's completely not right. That needs to be changed. A lot of archaic practices have existed, which I think many of you have skillfully replaced already, but it's a journey. We need to keep going down that journey. And this is where it's very important that let's understand that Indian industry is still, there's a large number of MSMEs, there's a large number of SMEs. They may not be as evolved as some of the larger companies are, but they are leaders in their own right. I enjoy going around Coimbatore, one city where I constantly keep visiting my vendors. And the reason I keep visiting my vendors is that because I see in that entrepreneur, where it could be a 15 crore a year, it could be 50 crores a year, it could be a 40 crore a year organization. But that spirit to constantly keep moving forward, whether it's in terms of the technology, whether it's in terms of work practices, the fact, keeping themselves competitive, that desire is there. But they also need support. They need support in terms of things like cost management practices, this is where, and India will continue to remain a significant part of our industry will continue to be MSME and SME. There's nothing wrong in that. Germany, which is now the country which we are after to replace as the third largest economy, there's still a lot of their industries, SMEs and MSMEs. So, and that I think is actually the backbone, and it actually gives strength to the Indian economy as well as the India as a country in terms of employment and more. We will need greater scale in future. We will need greater scale, and we must, because that scale gives you that little bit of flexibility, it gives you that ability to, take certain bold initiatives and look at it, use that as a roadmap for mobility. And I would also say that there has to be constant learning in the organization. You will see as I go through the next few slides, the cost management actually touches every bit of the organization. It's not restricted to just the finance domain or just the operations domain. It's everywhere in the organization, and it touches every bit of it. And therefore, a culture for sharing best practices is like in everything else that the organization does is essential. Just some historical approaches to total cost management. The first was the old Japanese X matrix model. I don't know if many of you have heard of it, but that was really the first model of TCM. Where the total cost management really got a big fillip was when Robert Kaplan started talking about it as he was evolving and implementing his balanced scorecard. And obviously there are some company specific models. I'm not going to spend too much time on the X matrix, just to say it can be considered as a Japanese model of TCM. Any companies here who implement TQM, TPM have been working with Japanese consultants here, etc. You would have actually, without sometimes even calling it an X matrix, you would have been actually implementing it, because it's nothing but an annual business plan, and then clearly shows how targets and resources are linked to it and linked to policy. Coming to the balanced scorecard, and like I said, giving all courtesy Dr. Robert Kaplan, it provides a framework, and it's very relevant even today, to build strategy focused organizations. It really tells the story of an organization strategy, I'll come to it in the next couple of slides. It doesn't stop there. It takes that strategy right down, and it makes strategy everyone's everyday job, very simply put. It provides measurements for internal business processes, helps to manage customer profitability. I'm sure, if you practice activity-based management or activity-based, you can even do customer segment profitability, you can do individual customer profitability, and you can actually take it to a level where you just don't look at variable costs, you look at actually converting a lot of the so-called historical semi-variable costs into variable costs. And most importantly, it provides a rigorous review mechanism. I think all of us know that today, what doesn't get reviewed doesn't get managed. So the balanced scorecard actually provides a perfect platform for it. Simply put, if you look at all the initiatives that an organization takes, starting with mission, values, vision, strategy, and then that's where the gap was. In terms of, at the shop floor levels, you start taking total quality management initiatives, you could be taking TPM initiatives, you could be doing some form of lean, and then that in turn links to your KRAs, your KPIs, your personal objectives in terms of what do you do, how do you get measured, etc. But there is that gap which was there, and if you look at that, that's really where the balanced scorecard comes in, because that translates, focuses, aligns, and tells you what are the priorities and then what are your outcomes. Whether it's stakeholders, delighted stakeholders, satisfied stakeholders, efficient processes, and again, your workforce is again a stakeholder. So, if going into it a little bit more, the reason I'm focusing a little bit on the balanced scorecard is because it's a good model of TCM. If you look at total cost management and you look at, do I need to get my hands around a tool? This is a good tool which you could use. Obviously there are other tools and there are other company specific models, but just wanted to, given the amount of literature and the amount of practice that is there in industry today, the balanced scorecard is, you can see there that a good tool to translate operations, strategy to operations, align organization, mobilize change, make strategy everyone's job, and make strategy a continual process. These are the things that we talk about every day in our organizations, and the tool provides an option for it. And I'm not going to, there's a lot of content on the slide. I'm just going to not go into all of it, but just tells you that, you can actually go into learning and growth, internal perspective, a customer perspective, a financial perspective, and at every place. But what I want to leave with you as cost management professionals is not the tool itself, is to say that actually as cost professionals, you should be looking at every area in great detail, and you have the unique ability, you are uniquely positioned to actually do all of this in your respective organizations. That's really the thought that I want to leave with every one of you who are here today. So, so if you look at the components, basically you're looking at cost of resources, you're looking at efficiency and effectiveness, and appropriate methodologies for the competitiveness of the business with a view to achieve a long-term cost leadership. If you want to look at a company-specific model, and I'm just putting an example of something that I practiced many years ago, was where we actually had an activity-based management implementation, and this tells you how it was practiced. You have the goals and strategies, then we had a massive implementation of ABC across every facet of the organization, and that became the foundation for strategic planning, for all your continuous improvement exercise activities. You actually had a lot of cost improvement projects. Then, in some cases you had to do a mega and radical redesign. So that's where BPR came in. And again, financial and performance management, constant measurement, constant data analytics, and from there going on to which segments should we be in, which products we should be in, product and customer management, measuring customer profitability, and for all of this, the IT enablers which are required, and that is truly the backbone. So moving on to the next part of my talk, which is total cost management in the technology age. I actually see it as cost accounting to cost intelligence. I mean, we've talked about cost accounting, we talked about cost management. I think the next step really down this, if you move down this path, is really cost intelligence. And what do I mean by cost intelligence? You're looking at, traditionally it was historical. You had your post-mortem reports in terms of, for the last month, how did we do, what is this, etc. And there were a lot of decisions which were actually reactive. From there, moving to real time, all the data analytics and AI tools that you have with all that you have today. Next, going to predictive. You should be able to predict your cost position and say that 1 year from now, this is what I think each of these costs will look like. And based on that, be proactive in decision making. How are artificial intelligence and technology transforming cost management? First and foremost, as I mentioned, I think the most important is getting into predictive costing mode. And obviously in a VUCA world, prediction is protection. And if you're not, we have to be able to predict. And robotic process automation, I was, in fact, this is my second trip to Coimbatore this week. And I was here for early part of the week also. And if you go around and even go to MSMEs and SMEs, you will see robo-cells being implemented, installed. They're either used or under implementation. I mean, this is, I'm really very happy that the committee took the decision to have this national convention in Coimbatore. This is a city where entrepreneurship is thriving, and I would really recommend and suggest that in addition to everything else you do, take the opportunity to go visit some of the small or mid-sized enterprises here. Obviously the large enterprises are there, but you will see entrepreneurship, you will see innovation, you will see process innovation, you will see product innovation at a scale, which is really, I mean, it motivates you, it makes you proud to be Indian if you go around the factories of Coimbatore. And just to set the record straight, I'm a Madrasi, but this is a city I respect, I appreciate, and admire, and the people and the business people here. You know, the using technology and using AI and using digital and using IoT and real-time feedback loops and things like that. We can look at getting into asset-light strategies. You know, yesterday, somebody was showing me a wonderful tool that they've developed, where actually what happens is the communication between them and their customer, they made it completely paperless. They do the inspection, upload the reports go direct into the customer's portal, clearance is given electronically, products are shipped. There's no paper flowing at all. And you know, and the way and the seamless manner in which some of these processes are being implemented is really fantastic. AI and digital would lead to more lean processes. It would look at more intelligent pricing and faster decision making. Fundamentally, I think technology doesn't just reduce costs. It decides who survives, who scales up, and who leads ultimately. What do I see as the role of all of you who are in this room? I see, and again here, depending on where in your career you are, some of these statements would change. But let's say, you start as a cost tracker. I would say that you should move to becoming a cost architect. Actually in your organizations, working closely with the CEO and the leadership team, and actually developing and designing what should be the cost that should be incurred at each stage. Moving from being a variance tracker to a data interpreter and a decision facilitator. I would again say that here, and this is also in terms of speed, in terms of, truly becoming a partner in leadership to the CEO of the organization is what I see the evolving role of cost management professionals. And I would also look at, in the same vein, I would make the statement as accounting to strategic advisor. So, for all this to happen, what do I see as the enablers for success? Combine, all of you have domain expertise and plenty of it. Combine it with data fluency. Like I said, the deep dives. You should become the leaders and facilitators of data deep dives in your organization. Understand business models, not just budgets. Go behind the numbers. Challenge what's in it. Again, I'll go back to my foundry example and say that why should this be the man hours per ton? If I need this cost, I need this man hours per ton. Design for it, challenge people, work with them, help them, but make sure that it is achieved. Or this should be the well-wrought consumption or whatever. And then finally translate insights into strategic choice. So in summary, for a TCM strategy to be successful, I would say that the key elements are focus on resiliency, value creation. You can keep hammering away at the term value creation. You hear value chains. You hear, it's very, very important that stakeholder value creation is focused upon, supported by the right IT and AI backbone. Whatever it is, whether it's SAP, whether it's Oracle, whatever it is, but supported, maybe in some cases custom-driven software patches built on top of an existing ERP, whatever it is. Promote deep dive and analytics. This is very important for our success, ladies and gentlemen, going forward. Promote everything deep dive, that's very, very important. Don't be in a hurry to take decisions. You have to take decisions fast, but that deep dive needs to happen. Enable speed and preserve value with appropriate risk management. So, with this, I will say that I'm very happy to be here. It's been, as I said, I've a little bit of going back memory lane, but cost management is a subject after my own heart. And I really hope that you all have a good convention and go back and truly become cost architects, cost leaders, and strategic advisors in your respective organizations or whomever you're working with, etc. Wish you all the best for your convention, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. As we draw the curtains on this enriching inaugural session, we have the distinct privilege of expressing our sincere gratitude to all those whose august presence and valuable contributions will make the 63rd National Cost and Management Accountants Convention a resounding success. To conclude this inspiring session, I'm pleased to invite a leader whose enthusiasm is contagious, whose charisma energizes every gathering, the chairman of SIRC. May I please have the pleasure of inviting CMA Vijaykaran Agastya, chairman SIRC of the Institute and co-chairman of the National Cost and Management Accountants Convention, to deliver the word of thanks. Let's give a big round of applause for CMA Vijaykaran Agastya.
Indu, you are such a wonderful anchor. Anybody speaks after you, it's going to be a trepidation for them. And upon that, you add so many adjectives to increase the nervousness for me. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What a wonderful inaugural session that we have. A very clear vision that was articulated by our leaders on the dais. To begin with, our very own famous opening batsman, M.K. Anandji. Opening batsmen are always known to deliver cameos, very quick run rate in a short period of time, which is what he has done in introducing the theme to us. Those of us who work very closely with him know that he's a man with few words, but a man with a lot of action. Thank you for your opening introduction of the theme, sir. We had Neeraj Dhananjay Joshi ji, who has shared the vision of our institute. He has touched upon the geopolitical situation and how is it impacting us, and also the fact that RISE is an apt theme given that we are in a VUCA world. He has also touched upon AI, the impact of that, and most important takeaway according to me is that we need to shift focus towards consulting. Very key takeaways from you, Neeraj Dhananjay Joshi ji. Thank you very much for your words, sir. We then had Ashwin Dalwadi ji, our past president, who talked about how ICMAI Vision 2047 was drafted with the consultation of IIM Ahmedabad. The key highlights that I could take are the fact that we should lead towards becoming a distinct professional. We should have the distinct professional identity as we head in this journey and lead towards 16.5 lakh CMA professionals, a huge target, and I think each one of us play a very vital role in achieving that target. Thank you so much, Ashwin sir. With a extraordinary voice modulation, our very own president, CMA TCA Srinivas Prasad ji, he has read out his message for all of us today, and he also had the grace of reading out the message of Vice President Sri C.P. Radhakrishnan ji. Thank you very much, sir. Your voice is always as amazing as we hear. Narayanan Seturaman sir, what a wonderful talk, sir. We cost and management accountants are now listening from a business industry expert about our own concepts in such an extraordinary way. It was such a delight to see the expertise that you have in an area that we are all passionate about. Touched upon so many things, including cost competitiveness, total cost management. Couple of things that he said, a total no, complacency. India as a nation is a land of opportunity, but cannot be complacent, and we cannot allow cash burns to continue. There has to be profitability. He did touch upon that innovation and enterprise needs to be the focus. And sir, the way you explained stuff such as cost intelligence, balanced scorecard, it was going back to college and listening to some of the best professors that we had. Thank you so much for all the wonderful messages. One thing, a highlight, sir, you talked about certain realities don't change. It reminded me of Jeff Bezos, who often says, businessmen end up looking at what is going to change in the future, but if we focus on what does not change in the next 10 years, I think we can build our strategies much more, rationally. Thank you very much for reminding us of that, sir. I also would like to thank all the council members who have flew down from various parts of the country to be a part of the National Cost and Management Accountant Convention 2026. Truly a galaxy of past presidents who are here with us today. Shri A.N. Ramanji, past President SAFA, all the past SIRC chairman and management committee members of all the regions and chapters, friends from media, and my dear CMA members who are all here. Thank you so much for gracing today's occasion. We also had the great opportunity of the release of technical guide on cost management in health services. I hope members will take the advantage of the guide that was shared. To conclude, I would like to say that the hegemony of United States seems to be fading off. And I think it's an opportunity for a country like India. I know they did pull a trigger in Venezuela. We do not know what it means to the rest of the world. But if we go back to 1991, liberalization days, India was an economy of GDP of 295 million. Today, we are close to 4 trillion economy. So 295 to 4 trillion, if it was possible, 30 trillion is definitely a possibility in 2047. Let us rise as cost and management accountants and help the nation race towards Vikasit Bharat. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. And it's time to freeze the moment. To capture this moment of unity and celebration, may I invite all of you on the dais to join together for a group photograph. Let your smile shine bright, because this frame will remind us not just of today, but of this passion, unity and pride we share. And yes, this is a moment where everyone looks their best. So please give your most confident smile.
Thank you, dignitaries. At this moment, let us pay tribute to our nation. I request everyone to please rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ वर्ष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, everyone.